is this what you mean? Or is this how you feel right now? Okay, I hear you. And then if that's what they're feeling, they got to get that out. I let them get that out until it's projected towards
I love
me.
that.
And then I'll go, hey, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry you feel that way. However, that was not my intention. Let's make it right.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to The Closing Table. I am your host, Kevin C. McIntosh, and joining us on this special episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with April Loconti. How you doing, April?
Good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Yeah. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Looking at a great summer day today, ready to get out, enjoy the day. But before we do that, we're here to talk business, so let's get to it. But I got to put it on hold again because I like to start things off a little casual, cool, with an icebreaker, have some fun. For you, I have something called word association. Got about 5 words all related to real estate, and I want you to give me the first thing that comes to your mind associated with these words, whether that's another word, a definition, story, whatever the case may be. Are you ready?
I think so. All right.
All right, cool.
Let's do it.
Let's do this one. First one, home warranty.
Always. That's the word that came to my head. Always. I always recommend the home warranty.
Capital gains.
Avoid.
I know, right? Real estate appraisal software.
A must, I guess. I mean, when it comes to appraisal, you want to be prepared.
Real estate broker.
Another must. I mean, my boss.
Yeah. Last one, zoning.
For some reason, I think of spot zoning when you say that because it reminds me of like trying to do a deal and get it specially zoned for a certain area. I've been doing a little bit with some commercial lately, so been hearing it for a lot.
Like that. Okay, cool. We like new words and new terms right here being brought to us. So appreciate it, April, loosening up with an icebreaker with us real quick. So now I really want to kind of dig into who you are as a person, April. So if you can, in 60 seconds or less, tell us who you are outside of real estate.
Okay, so I'm a lot, actually, because at 24 years old, I opened my first business. I was actually a hairdresser. So I started a salon in my hometown, right where I went to high school. I did that for 3 years until I opened my second salon in an area I was living closer to. I don't live in my hometown, but I live close to it. Okay. And so I opened my second salon there. I still have both locations. And then shortly after became a mom. Nice. And then a mom a second time 3 years after that. So I got a lot going on. I'm a business owner and a mom and a wife.
Nice, beautiful. I love that right there. See, we're all family people. We're all mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, and we have a life outside of this profession that we definitely have to tend to. So I like to shed light on that first and foremost. But let's get into where you are, at least where you're serving. So can you take this time to describe your current market that you're serving geographically, as far as the location, any details as descriptive as possible for someone who may have never been there, and then talk about what's going on with the real estate there.
Okay, so Northeast Ohio is kind of like the general term for where I service. But for some layman's terms, Cleveland, all the way to, we'll get even more technical. So like downtown Cleveland, Ohio City, Tremont, Lakewood, Euclid, Eastlake, Willowick, Mayfield, Menor, Beechwood, Pepper Pike, like it's all the surrounding areas. For anyone who's never been here, they might know of like the Rock Hall, the Brown Stadium. Those are going to be like kind of in the center of the areas I work from. So I'll work like an hour-ish, maybe a little bit more, east of the downtown stadium and west of the downtown stadium and even south. Okay. And there is no north because it's the lake.
Right. Okay. There you go. That puts it in perspective for us. So what's going on as far as the real estate market? You have any information for average numbers, average days on the market, anything of that nature?
So when I think of the market right now, I just think of hot. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
My listing I listed last week on let's just say Wednesday. It was sold by a Thursday.
Whew.
Always everything's over asking. Being a buyer's agent's really hard right now. If you are buying a home, I definitely feel for you, because it's definitely not your first time homeowner's experience that I would dream for a first time homeowner.
Yeah.
You're looking at multiple houses, you're excited, you pick one. More than likely, in a normal situation, you have a chance in it. Right now, if you don't want to spend 15, and I literally mean every bit of 15 to 30 over asking sometimes, it's just very hard. Is it impossible? No. With a really
Right.
good, dedicated, due diligent agent like myself, it's not impossible, but it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. So the average days on market is like 6 right now, 7.
Damn.
And that's kind of, I really feel like, exaggerated in length right now. Are right. So the range, like an average, like when you look up that question you just asked me about Ohio or Cleveland, it'll tell you like 115 to 200 is our average price. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
really feeling it's more like 2 to 300 right now is like your more average home at the moment. And that's just basically maybe where I'm working. Maybe my
Right.
areas are more in that 2 to 300 range. And that's kind of a lot of what I'm servicing. And that's usually like 2,600 square foot or under, around there right now.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Got you. You think that number could be higher than what the reports are saying because people are going over asking price a lot? I can
yeah,
see
more
that.
than likely, or just it might not be as updated. I think it was predicted to go back down a little bit, and instead it went up by 2.5% since March
Mm-hmm.
last year to March this year. That was the last, like, they documented, and it's gotten even hotter since then.
Got you.
So it could have just been what the projected was, but just my professional opinion. That's where I stand with it.
Random question.
Okay.
Do you feel like homes are overpriced right now?
That's a great question. So, some of them, yeah, I feel like some sellers are very bold right now. But
Yeah,
those are the houses that really, the market corrects those houses,
of course.
because if, even though the houses are higher and they're expected to be higher, let's say, when you price your home 70 over asking, no, like, they might even offer you more than what you're asking when you price it fairly. But when you walk into the house and it's like 50 over to 70th over, people are like, yeah, this is a joke. And they don't even write the
Mm-hmm.
offer. So my advice to a client would be price it normally, or, a little, maybe a little inflated based on demand, but the market will correct you. The market's
Got
not,
you.
the market will give you 8 offers and they'll be over asking if you think you price it a little under. Your house will sit 30 days if you price it too over. And that's not very common right now. So that's when you know you're on the higher end.
Got you. Okay. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. Can you share a story with us in regards to maybe an untraditional way that you got a client or a lead for a client? Maybe you just bumped into each other in traffic or at a supermarket and you end up closing on a home for them.
That's so funny because that actually has happened to me at the supermarket. But I do go to the same supermarket like every week. I'm like that lady. I've now joined like the elder ladies at the grocery store. I'm like, hey, it's Cheryl. But no, so a very untraditional way that I did not do. It's not, really normally to do this, but I met an investor at a house and she was a seller, and we kept a professional relationship. I never crossed paths. I did not try to take that client by any means, but she like
Hmm.
really, really liked me. This lady must have called me for like 6 to 8 months to be my client, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that. So like I literally had to turn her down several times. Like, we worked on
Really?
a deal, and that's not proper etiquette. Like, you need to run out the course with your agent. And then finally, I think we're now 8 months later, I finally gave in, like, okay, it's been 8 months. I did my part on turning you away. Like, I could take you on. And that's not very traditional to have happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Big no. Did you hear from that actual agent, her last agent or anything?
No,
No.
and I would just simply tell them, like, listen, I said no on documentation like 10 times, and
Right.
they haven't been working with you for 8 months. So there's no contract. I apologize. But when a client
Hey,
needs help, what do you do?
it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So you also expressed that you have dedication to education and learning about your clients' needs. So can you share a story where your commitment to understanding your clients' goals actually led to a successful outcome? And how did that knowledge and dedication make a difference in their experience?
Okay, yeah. So I started real estate in like the hot market right around COVID. And my first
Mm,
deal, this is how funny this is. My first deal was a vacant lot. Most people don't really waste their time with vacant land, especially if it's under 20 like $30,000. They might do a little footwork, but not the footwork that like I did. So this client wanted this lot in Geneva, which is kind of right
hmm
off the lake, probably 50 minutes or so, maybe more, maybe an hour and a half ish from like downtown Cleveland. And it was a few acres. They're going to build their dream house. They were so excited. So the sign and the listing was saying it was on this particular crossroads. But when I got like the survey report, I mean, I did a lot of footwork into this client. Like I dug deep. And when I got the survey report and I reviewed the property lines and I walked the lot, which not a lot of agents do anymore either for vacant land, it was not the correct property. So she was going under contract for a property that was not her property.
Oh, wow.
So I had to do a lot of footwork. And I know because I was into real estate before I became an agent, as far as like the investor side, my husband did a lot with it. I knew a little bit about a little bit and went right to the city, got all the property lines, had someone come back out, called a friend I knew down there, and got her the correct lot. And she
Mm,
almost would have bought, this, but she didn't buy that. She would have bought this. And that could have been really bad, like when she goes to
yes.
build later. So
Horrible experience that would have been if you wouldn't have done your due diligence as a professional.
she
Like
was
just
so happy.
mhm.
I've already gotten her brother a lot over there. I sold their commercial building. Like they're like, they trust me. And you know what? The commercial building was another situation like that too. That was a lot of footwork where I did due diligence, where she would have gotten herself into some serious situations if she didn't have an agent that cared.
Oh man. Oh yeah. See, and just like you said, an agent who's dedicated, who's committed to understanding your goals, and you just like you said, you had the experience, so you already knew the people to go to, the
Yeah.
connections and the relationships to actually get things ironed out. So that just speaks to your involvement in the community also. And speaking of your involvement in the community, you're part of the Chamber of Commerce as well as the board of directors. So
I
that
recently
shows,
I
right?
stepped down from the board of directors because I had a baby and I
Okay.
got a lot, but I was on that chamber of the Mayfield area Chamber of Commerce for years. And then I was on their board of directors team at like a very young age. It was funny
Nice,
because I was like the
nice.
youngest person on there and
All
it
right.
was awesome. But
Well,
yeah,
that
it
speaks to
became a,
your character.
yeah.
Yeah, that speaks to your character. I mean, can you tell us about a specific initiative or project that you worked on to give back to the community? And can you talk about the impact that it had on the community?
So we always worked with, during my time on the board of directors, we specifically worked with the city of Cleveland's Big Brother, Big Sister program. Every
Mm,
Christmas, we held a very large networking luncheon that was, it actually took place at a place called Landerhaven. Great place. It was one of our biggest luncheons, and everyone there would bring a ton of toys. We would raise money. We do fundraising. And then we would have the police come down because they work directly with the Big Sister and or Big Brother, Big Sister program, the Cleveland police. And they would come
hmm
down and collect all of it. And they would go there every December. They would have all these kids come and they would do Santa every week. They would play Santa and bring it to their houses. I mean, they did amazing things, this Big Brother, Big Sister community. And
Nice.
there's some kids who might not have ever had a Christmas if it wasn't for that
hmm
organization. So
hmm
that was something we took part in every single year.
Yeah, man, anything that involves the kids, I love it because I was that kid, where
Yeah,
I wasn't always fortunate.
same.
So I used to do different things for another gig where we would go to like the hospital and give out toys to
Yes.
to the kids there, or just collect toys to give away. So I love that you did stuff like that. I mean, especially helping out the kids. That's always
I
a
love that. Yeah,
heartwarming
the
thing.
broker
Yes.
that my company now, I work for Century 21, but it's Asa Cox Homes. She
hmm
has a nonprofit called Aces Angels, and it's an organization that runs all year long, but it's a huge toy drive every Christmas, and she provides like thousands and
Nice.
thousands of families with Christmases and Easters and any other holiday you could think of. We are raising funds for all year long with luncheons and dinners. And she got creative this year with like a bingo, and all the businesses in the area get involved. It doesn't matter if you're another agent from another broker. You usually jump in and you donate, and you literally get the card of the child you're shopping for, and you get
Hmm.
their wish list. It's a really
Oh, okay.
powerful and impacting thing she does for the neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah. That's very, yeah, I gotta honor that. That's very respectable and commendable right there. So I want to speak on the, I don't want to say let's say the hurdles that you have to deal with as a real estate agent. One of them being dealing with the clients. Have you ever had to deal with a difficult and or demanding client, which I assume you do? And how was it and how did you get through that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a very upfront person, and that's
Hmm.
I don't have like I mean, I have a professional side, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying I don't filter that between. I'm very real from the beginning so that you kind of know what you're getting and who you're getting from the beginning. So that
Right.
you kind of, you kind of try to stay in that same position with me as I stay with you. But I've had instances where clients have crossed the line, and you just have to stay really calm and professional, and you have to just firmly repeat basic knowledge, kind of like, I
Hmm.
understand you're upset. However, this is this. And there, you know what I mean? You kind of just have to go back to the basics of like the
Yeah.
law or things you've already said or what's proper etiquette, and just
Hmm.
firmly repeat them time and time again. And if someone crosses that line again, you just have to simply say, I am sorry. I don't have to be treated that way. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how I handle it.
Yeah.
I'm not very
Yeah.
shy about that.
No, that's it. That goes for any situation, professional or personal. Like, just be
Boundaries.
respectful, treat others how you want to be treated, which is the golden rule. And then ultimately, you want to be respected, so respect other people, and put out good energy and things will come back. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you're dealing with people who just,
I know. I know.
who knows what kind of energy they're on.
And some people don't even realize they're being really demanding or irrational, So that's why
Exactly.
I don't really try to go right to 100, because I'm like, I just want to repeat what you said. Is this what you mean? Or is this how you feel right now? Okay, I hear you. And then if that's what they're feeling, they got to get that out. I let them get that out
I
until it's
love that.
projected towards me. And then I'll go,
Hmm.
hey, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry you feel that way. However, that was not my intention. Let's
That
make
was
it right.
perfectly said. Yes. No, that was perfectly said. You said some people don't even realize that they're being like that. That's just part of their
Mhm.
character. So you repeat it, just be like, okay, do you know you even said this like this? That was a good one. I like that.
Because
I feel like I
then,
have to do that to my girlfriend sometimes. Like,
right.
you know what you just said?
100%. And that's kind
It's
of where
all
they're like,
good.
oh, I see where that sounded
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we know you obviously have a family and you have a career and you're juggling both, which can obviously be challenging. Trust me, I understand. But can you share a story where you successfully manage your time, juggling the responsibilities of being a real estate professional and obviously being a mom and a wife?
Yeah. So that is an everyday struggle. Just going to be
Yeah.
100% honest with you. A
Mm-hmm.
balancing act in its finest. And some days the balancing act is this, and some days it's this. It just
Yeah.
depends. So I do a lot of time blocking. I time block from literally the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. I have a solid morning routine to get out things that involve emails, and my client needs my full blown attention. I'm up an hour or two before the kids, maybe three, to tackle that for them. And just yesterday, actually, I was going to show a client. Traffic was so intense. Me and the client were running late. And then my husband gets stuck at work, and I have to pick up my son as well. So
Ooh.
I'm just honest. I said, hey, I have my son. I'm willing to get to a house for you same day, sometimes within a few hours. That's just a price you might have to pay,
Mm-hmm.
because we're in real life here. I'm a real person. So I'm the type who is not all money is good money. So if I get to a
Talk about it.
house and someone wants to shun me for the woman and the mother I am, then we might just not have to work together. And I'm okay with
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll
Woo.
up with my kids sleeping on my shoulder, and my clients are usually like Sorry, I'm outside. I'm getting attacked. Um, my clients are usually like, I commend you for being a normal human being. And they like love the realness because that's the world we live in. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. This market needs me to get you to a house same day. We're going to get to that house same day. And baby Andrew might be my assistant today. Like,
Yep, I got my assistant with me today.
and that just might
My
be real.
secretary.
Yeah.
You know, I love to hear that. That's just the same with you know, when I used to work in broadcasting, and I would do like my breaks live on the air, and some people like to just pre-record it because they wanted it to sound perfect. But to make that correlation to what you said, I like to do it live and mess up live on the air because I like to know, I want people to know that I'm a human and I'm live in here making mistakes. Like this is real. You see what I'm saying?
We are
So
in the era of authenticity. People do not
talk
want
about
to
it.
see you
Oh,
perfect every single day. They need
especially
to relate to you.
in a world with AI, computers taking
Yes.
over. Show that you're real.
They need
That was a
to
great
see
point.
you and who you are and know that you relate to them and sympathize to them and that you make mistakes because so do they.
Talk about it. So obviously, with all these relationships that you've built throughout your career, getting people into their homes or selling their homes, you built these relationships. Some of them still last to today. I'm assuming some of them probably dwindled with, you know, no bad blood. But overall, do you have any extremely rewarding relationship that you still maintain with a client after closing on their home?
Yes, I would definitely say several, but there is one particular I'm thinking, and we just kind of became family. She has
Nice.
all her family. I'm like her whole family's agent now. And she always comes to all the showings when her other family's looking for houses, and we just hang out and she'll call me for advice. And I honestly got marriage advice from her one time. Like she's just like God sent. And to this day, she's tagging me on Facebook and I'm tagging her in Facebook posts and videos. And it's just this like awesome thing. She opened a travel agency, so I plan on booking with her and just, yeah,
Okay.
we're real cool. I love her and her
There
family.
it is. Yeah. Now that's rewarding right there. When you can help each other, benefit off, you know, from each other and help each other out in different types of ways. That's a rewarding relationship,
Sure.
if you ask me. That's a prime example of that. This question I find a lot of value in personally. Because our viewers, I feel like they can learn a lot from this. So I want to ask you, I don't know your current situation as far as home ownership. Let's say you do not own a home in 2023 right now, but knowing what you know now and the resources that are available, what approach would you take to owning your home in 2023?
Okay, so let me just clarify the question really quick. Do you want to know, knowing what I know, how I would buy a home like in this process of the crazy market, or like let's pretend it's a normal market?
Let's do this process of this crazy market right now. Worst case scenario. I feel like if it's a better market, then it should be easier.
Yeah,
Theoretically.
no, you're right. So as far as like myself as buying the home and picking the home out, I have a whole checklist nowadays that I didn't even know existed before. Like as far as like what I'm looking for. Like sometimes when you get really desperate, you start to make sacrifices because you really want a home. So you'll start to go, I really just wanted that finished basement, but we'll finish it later. I really wanted an acre lot, but I'm going to get a half acre. I would say take no sacrifice because it's just what's meant for you is meant for you. And that yes, you want to make a competitive offer, but do not overbuy that house if you cannot afford it, because you will be upset if layoffs come or if an income stream is not here anymore for you. And that will not be something you could float. So don't do things you can't afford. It's just not in your best interest. It might be today, but it might not be in 5 years. And then those sacrifices, you have to live with them forever. So you're sacrificing these sacrifices. And are you going to is today April going to be okay with future April's, is future April going to be okay with today's April's decision?
Right.
So like just don't make sacrifices for the market. What is meant for you is meant for you. Go through the 15 houses till you find the one you want.
That's so crazy. I love how people's perspectives are so different because if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I've had guests on this show who say you have to make sacrifices, like especially in today's market. Like you have to
I'm just not the agent to do that.
I love that though. I
Because
love
I'm
that.
not just all about the sale. I'm just not.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to show you 95 houses. And there's difference between sacrifices. Are you sacrificing you don't want a tree right there that you could take down? Fine. But are you
True.
sacrificing 500 square foot that you really needed?
Mm-hmm.
What sacrifice is it? There's going to be sacrifices in everything you do. So don't let me take away from that. But how big is that sacrifice? Is future April going to be okay with today's April's decision? That's it.
Yeah.
And just,
Sacrifice is subjective.
yeah,
It's subjective.
absolutely.
Great point. Great point. Well, thank you so much, April, for pulling up a chair here at the closing table, sharing your knowledge with me and our audience. We definitely appreciate that. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
You could find me on Instagram. I believe I'm under, this is ridiculous, right? I believe because I have a couple Instagrams because I have a couple businesses. So you could find me at Realtor April Loconti on Instagram. You can find me at April Loconti on Facebook, but it's for all my businesses. And you could find me on Asa Cox Homes, Century21, asacoxhomes.com website.
Well said. Well played. Thank you so much, April, for pulling up a chair again. We appreciate that. Absolutely. Taking time out of your very busy day. And for our YouTube viewers right now, if you've gotten to this point in the episode, please do us both a favor and hit the like button. Thank you. Make sure you also subscribe to our channel and share our content. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. April, I'm going to leave our audience with a question before they leave the chat. This is for you, audience. Have you ever had to fire your real estate agent? If so, tell us why in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.